All right, folks. I wanted to just take you through this process here a little bit of how you can achieve looseness. Even when you're up close, even when you're zoomed in up close, right? So we're going to try to look at this painting here and see. So there's a couple things. Now, you have to look at it in terms of saturation. Sometimes dealing with this bar can be even easier than dealing with this. I think it's best to have both up. Just kind of. So I wanted to show you about how you can be loose and painterly. So we want to get confident, bold brush strokes, right? Now we also have to look at color temperature. So you have to have your screen bright enough. Don't make it so bright that it hurts your eyes or that you have to squint to look at it, but make it just bright enough that your eyes aren't strained and you can see the colors well. So as we're going along here, we have to look at the saturation. And there's a lot of desaturated stuff because if you look at the environment she's in, it's a very desaturated room. So some of her hair is picking up the bounced light from her skin, and some of it is picking up the neutrals from the environment that she's in. And as an artist, it's up to you to kind of emphasize or not. Now, no one's going to be exactly comparing the two on the wall. So notice I'm leaving a little bit of texture in here, but this brush is also good because while it does have some texture, it's pretty soft. It's pretty soft. So it's got that kind of textured edge. But these are good. These are good painterly brushes. It's got a nice canvas texture. You know, see, look how slow this one is. The reason it's slow is because in addition to painting, it's actually smearing colors around. It's a mixer brush. So it can actually be handy, but because this is such a large file. Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to tell you. If you're going to be working on a large file, like see here, this is a huge document. We're looking at 17 inches by 31.57 inches, 300 pixels per inch. So it's a huge file, 138 megabytes. So we're at well over a tenth of a gigabyte. So this is a good computer, but it's a workhorse, all right. But it doesn't have a ton of RAM or anything like that. I could have put it in it, but I haven't yet. It would be nice to have a 32 gigabyte RAM computer. Very expensive, probably, but anyway. So I don't like this mixer brush. So play with different brushes, but look for something that has texture. That might have a little too much texture. So I like this one because it's kind of soft. So that's good. So from here, let's talk about getting loose. Now notice in here, it's kind of a cacophony of colors, but it's kind of that way in the photograph too, isn't it? And you know that if your detail resembles photograph, then it will come out right, basically. Now notice that the quality is very degraded on this photo. And that's because of how many times I've blown it up. Now we can lower the opacity. If you want to get more blending in, you can lower the opacity. I just hit 5, lower it to 50%. And so one thing that I wanted to tell you is if you're doing a portrait, when you're painting, go against the contour go against the flow of the contour of the form you're painting. In other words, so let's say that the flow of the contour is going this way, right? So in other words, you're going to go this way. You're going to go against the contour. So in this way, you're describing the form. So that's one important step, because if you paint everything down, like, it's not going to look right. So let's see if we can't improve this a little bit. This thing, I've never gotten too big on it, but there's some people who are really good with this thing. And it does simplify things to just have it in terms of saturation. Lowered it down to 40% opacity. I'm going to lower it down to 40% flow by hitting Shift 4. Okay, so I noticed earlier that this needed more color. Need more color up here. So I'm just hitting Shift Tab to go back and forth. And I have everything set up on the left, for my left hand. So it's just a matter of often toggling and then going to the Alt key often to sample colors, not from the photograph, but from what I already have on my document. And I lock this photograph so that I don't do anything on it, especially when you're starting to get close to accurate. You can mistake one for the other and start painting on the photograph. Of course, you can hit Don't Save at the end of the session as well. But you might start painting some of the stuff you've painted. Necessarily be a bad thing, but I think it's generally a good idea to have it locked, so you know. It's kind of annoying when that message pops up, but when you get in the flow, it's just an automatic muscle memory thing, and you can just totally focus on what's in front of you. So here in the photograph, we have some greens. So we can compare it. And don't expect to get exact right the first time. That rarely ever happens. But it doesn't have to be exactly right. If you're in the ballpark, if you're in the ballpark, it's all good. So we're pretty good here. Now, I like to leave some texture in it because I think that makes it more painterly looking. Just leave a little broken and try to fill it all in or make it. Now I'm not going against the contour. I should be, but I think it's okay to sometimes break your own rules. So here we need more red, right? Sometimes orange can be more red than you think it is. Okay. Okay. Get some of those pinks, more pink. That helps to integrate it. Need it a little darker. So it's kind of like being sketchy a little bit, like your charcoal or pencil drawing with hatches and stuff like that, but it's also a little bit different. You're wanting to get coverage. Some of the stuff I did a while ago. This is like a third pass, going in up close. You don't want to spend this much time and get in this close with the rest of the painting. But on parts like this, and I actually have gotten really close like this with places like where her buttons are at, but the main thing is you don't want to spend forever, especially if you're not getting paid. $1,000 or whatever. You just simply don't have time, especially because you're not using any of the cheats that other people use. And so you're learning, which should be the point behind any really commission you get. It's not, it's not simply to pay the rent or whatever it is, which is fine, but it's to learn. I mean, you're learning while you're doing it, and you should. I mean, it should be as much for you as for anything else. Now, if you're on a professional level, where there's deadlines and everything like that, then you don't really have a whole lot of time to explore, but you can still find ways to inject yourself into it, and you should. Yeah, I kind of like having little resolution in the photo because it kind of encourages me to interpret the detail in my own way. And then I get to use kind of my own artistic sense. And notice how I'm leaving little what looks like brushstroke marks. And that to me enhances the appeal. So I'm not just trying to document the pixels, I'm trying to get the general color information there. But I'm also trying to add some interesting textures and overlay of colors, letting the different colors show through as much as possible and trying to get the right temperature. And, of course, noticing things about saturation and value that are off. But it's a kind of laborious process, back and forth like this. But I find it's really helpful in getting very accurate with detail. Some may call this cheating. I don't care. It's not cheating to me. I didn't trace anything. I didn't color pick from the photo or anything. This is all my choices based on what I see. Let's go down value, see if we can't get a little bit of this green. Okay, good. And just telling yourself good, when you actually do something right, that's a good thing to do because it confirms, it gives you more conviction in yourself, more confidence, because you should be praised when you do something right, and that gives you a little dopamine rush that helps to remember next time you need to do something. So I hope you're learning a little something about how you can do details up close and still be painterly with it. Look at this hair I was working on a little while ago. It's not quite where I want it, but you can see it still has a nice looseness to it, nice appeal, even though it's in a kind of early stage. Need some more of these grittier colors, these desaturated browns. So I would recommend going with low opacity with the hair. It really can help to get that kind of gossamer feel. But I'm not interested in doing like every strand and all that. It's just not appealing to me. I don't have the time. I'm not getting paid appropriately for that kind of effort. So you have to make compromises, right? Here the compromise is to be painterly, is to be loose. Because like I said earlier, nobody's going to be comparing, the photo to the original, and oh, that color is not exactly there, or that form. As long as you're in the ballpark, you're good. You know what I mean? So that's what I want you to remember. That being painterly, being loose, it's about not being a perfectionist. It's about sort of letting the chips fall where they may. It's about not hitting the button as much as possible. So, but painting should first and foremost be about having fun. If you're not having fun, why are you doing it? Right? So I'm trying to think, just when I'm doing this hair, how it feels, how silky it is, how soft it is. And you should always do that, no matter what it is. If you're doing a cloud, you want to feel how light and airy and voluminous it is, and not worry so much about exact details as trying to get the essence or capture the essence of that cloud. Intangible quality that makes it a cloud as opposed to everything else. So everything has its distinctive feel, its own distinctive look and feel. And we want to try to capture that as artists, right? Or at least our own interpretation of it to the best of our ability. So yeah, that's about all I wanted to show you. The rest is just kind of rinse and repeat the whole way through. Hopefully I'll get done with this commission soon, so I can start on my brother's wedding present of a portrait of him and his fiancée. So anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll be able to make more videos like these.